So today I am going to show you how I make Jamaican dumpling. I've spoken to quite a few people, and ask like, do you know what Jamaican dumpling is? If they ask me what I cooked, and in my dish, it may be Jamaican dumpling, and they'll say no. So I wanted to share how I make Jamaican dumpling. To share with you how to make Jamaican flour dumpling. So first you want to get a bowl, and you want to make sure that your fingernails are all clean and no rings, preferably mostly on your right hand. And you want to just measure out according to how much you're going to be making. Okay, then you want to use a little salt to your liking, to your taste. And then the next thing you need is water. So you're going to add your water. You're going to do your mixing. And if you need to add more flour, then you do so. Now I am not making a lot, so if depending on how much you're using, you're gonna need enough water to where you're making your dough not sticky, but enough water to where your dough is you can hold it and let it go. If it sticks to your hand, then you've used too much water. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more flour. Okay, so this is what it's looking like right now, and this is the way you knead it. So you're using pretty much fingers. Now, what I've learned over the years, and I believe this is true, if you're using, like your hand and kneading it this way, like you're putting a lot of pressure on it, your dumpling will more than likely, at the end, come out being hard. If you're lightly kneading it with fingers, your dumpling will more than likely come out at the end being softer. All right. So here I am, I've pretty much kneaded all the flour. So I'm doing it pretty light. Some people, believe it or not, use a fork to start stirring, but I don't. I just do it the traditional way, right? So what I'm doing is just kind of cleaning my fingers. And pretty much, your left hand is just holding your bowl. So you're not using both hands. You're just using one and holding the bowl with the other. So what I'm trying to do now is just to gather all the flour that's in the bowl here. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. I can let it go. So this is kind of good to go with making it into the shape of the dumpling that you want. Now, some people do their shapes round. Some people do it with a little indent in the middle. And some people do what's called spinners. Okay? This is where I'm just finishing this off by using my other hand to mold it. All right, so I'm going to start with pulling one piece off, and I'm using this hand, the middle, to kind of you know, I guess mold it in and this hand to do the mold. Okay, so I'm doing that into a little form here, get it into a little round shape. Then I'm using this hand, and you know, it's kind of hard to explain, but you can see the formation of my hands, and this is what the dumpling looks like. So it's round. Mine is not big, I'm making them small. All right, you can make it to where it's, you know, this way, and then you can put a little sink like that in the middle with your thumb. And this one is how you do the spinners. They call the spinners, and you can do them whatever size you choose. Okay, so this can be used in soups or it can be used in stews. So, you know, in Jamaica we have a dish we call stew peas and rice, and so this would be a part of our stew, and that's what that would look like. Okay, so yeah guys, I hope you like that. Like I said, some people, you know, do it and knead it that way, and then just, you know, make it in a little round shape in a form, and you know, just pretty much make it this way. But some people use their thumb. I don't know. I don't even know why they do that, but I guess when you're cutting with a fork or a knife or whatever, maybe it makes it easier. But yeah. So how do you know your dumpling is cooked? I'm glad you asked. All right, so I'm gonna find the round one, because the smaller ones that we call spinners, they should be cooked by now. And that's why I like to make my dumplings kind of small, you know, so that it doesn't take too long to cook. So once you can cut it that way, you know, you're good. And some people do put cornmeal in their dumpling, so that's all right. So once you can cut into your dumpling that way, it is cooked. But yeah, that's the way to make the Jamaican flour dumpling. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.